Resources Coalition Facebook Live question and answer session. My name is Clint Chappell. I'm a founding member of the BCRC. I'm involved with social media stuff, and I'm here to answer your questions today. The first thing I'm going to want to do, though, guys, is I'm going to want to thank all the essential workers and all the frontline workers who are currently dealing with the COVID-19 virus. You guys are doing an amazing job. Keep up the great work. You have all of our support, and you're keeping us safe. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. So, who is the BCRC? What do we do? How did we become? So the BCRC was founded by 15 people in the northern British Columbia region who came together over a project, and we want to make that project happen. But what we quickly realized was, in order to get that project to happen, we have to make sure all resource-based projects happen in British Columbia. So we formed a coalition. We have a bigger voice now, and with that bigger voice, we're hoping to gain the attention of the people who are in charge of making the decisions for these projects to go ahead. One of our number one things that we like to say is BC resources should make BC jobs. It's super important to us, because if it's growing here in British Columbia, why is a British Columbian not benefiting from that going forward? We should be trying to process all goods that are naturally found in BC. We should be trying to process those in British Columbia. I see we have some people logged on to the live event right now. I'm going to keep talking a little bit until I start getting some more questions on side. Feel free to ask me questions at any point. We've had 15 founding members. We currently right now have 31 full paying members for the BCRC. What's a full paying member? A full paying member is a person who has the ability going forward at our AGM meetings to vote. So if they don't like what I'm doing personally, if they don't like what the president is doing, they have the ability to vote at the AGMs to get us out of there and take the BCRC in their own direction. That's one level of membership. Another level of membership is a casual member. What's a casual member? Casual member is a person who doesn't want the full responsibilities of a full member, but still wants to stay involved with the BCRC. So what they get is they get access to the website, they get access to our email accounts for the president, the vice president, the treasurer, and the secretary, and they get updates about projects that we're looking at, current projects that are going on that we're advocating for, and they get questionnaires sent every now and then to figure out what we're going to be doing going forward with the BCRC. And the last level of membership is a corporate membership. What's corporate membership? It's really kind of a corporate sponsor, to be honest. The corporate membership / corporate sponsorship is a company that feels just as strongly as we do about having resources processed in British Columbia. And what that also gets you is it gets you all the same rights as a casual member, plus it also gets you social media shoutouts. I don't know if you guys are following us on social media. You see all these amazing posts that we've done for companies. Those posts are seeing a lot of people, and they're honestly performing quite well. So that's something that you might want to look into. For price breakdown and everything of all the memberships, just log on to the bcrc.ca. That's the bcrc.ca to find out more about memberships. I see Mr. Grant Purdue has made a comment. He says, "Nice sign." Obviously, this beautiful sign that we have here was made by Gap Manufacturing. You've seen a video that we posted in the last couple days. I believe it was yesterday. That shows how Mr. Purdue makes those signs. If you want one of those signs, maybe hit me up. Maybe see if we can do something with a corporate membership deal for you guys. So also another thing that we're also on is Instagram. Now Instagram, we'd like to see that to perform a little bit better, to tell you the truth. So let's get all you guys who like us on the BC Resources Coalition Facebook page. Let's get you on Instagram. We want to bump those numbers up. We want more people to see our posts going forward on that social media. We also have LinkedIn. We love getting more followers on LinkedIn, so please look us up on there as well. So we're going to be having a newsletter come out very soon, possibly next week. That's going to be an update for all our members and some other people that have shown interest in our group on what we're doing. And that's very important for us to get the word out there of more of what we're looking at, where we're going forward, our plan for the future growth, quite frankly, of the BCRC. Another thing that I'm going to take time to do is, as I said, if you guys want to ask questions, go ahead. It was nice of Grant to try to get that going, but if anyone has any questions, please just leave them in the comment section. Oh, the shirt. So the shirt I actually got because we were going to an event and we needed some shirts done up. But in saying that, if you visit our website on the shop page, you'll find a selection of shirts, hats, and hoodies available for purchase. All the proceeds to that go to help funding us as a coalition moving forward, so we can bring more content, more projects, and more advocacy going forward. From Scott LePage. Hey Scott, how's it going? Is the BCRC strictly an advocacy group, or is there more to it? That's a great question, Scott. To answer that question, we want to advocate for projects in British Columbia. Is there more to it? What there is more to it, I guess, is we want to be in the local communities. We want to be talking to people. We want to hold events. We want to fundraise. We also want to get the information out to people who are misinforming others about projects that could be happening in your area. So is there more to it? Yes, there is more to it, but we are an advocacy group. We want to advocate for projects. That's a great question, Scott. Mr. Purdue. Oh, yeah. Mr. Purdue just wants to say thank you to all the members who have joined so far. Honestly, you guys have helped fund us so far. It's amazing. Thank you for helping us. And going forward, we really want more membership. So if you're on the fence about whether to join or not, maybe just do a casual membership at the start. See how that looks. If that fits well on you, maybe try a full membership after that. Alex Birkinshaw. How do we get more investment in natural resources projects in British Columbia? We got to be louder. We got to let people know that we want these projects to come to British Columbia. British Columbia has a history of having these great projects sit on the table for years and years and years and not get approved. We have to force our government to hear us and let them know that we want this to happen. If they don't know that we want this to happen, they can keep deny these projects. Let's get them to hear us, and let's get them to make these projects happen. Thank you, Alex. Jason Vaughn. What has the BCRC done to engage with local government to get some projects or to get some policies changed to keep the jobs in BC? So, right now, Jason, we are engaging with some forms of local government. I wouldn't say we've fully engaged them full on yet. We're still trying to get our feet under us as far as how to do that properly. But going forward, that's something we want to do. We want to invoke change in our government, in our policies going forward. That BC should be looking for more. BC should be having some sort of something in the government saying that BC resources and BC companies should get the first chance at BC resources to make those jobs. Another question here. What do you think the biggest challenge is to northern BC? The biggest challenge I personally think to northern BC is for projects to happen here. We're so influenced by what happens down in southern BC. And that's a huge problem going forward for northern BC. Because some of the mindset is different in the southern part of British Columbia, that really affects the northern part of British Columbia. So it's hard to really gain any momentum to get these projects to happen. We need the people in the southern part of British Columbia to understand that we need jobs up here. We want more stuff processed in British Columbia because we are growing these things, and we want those jobs to stay in BC. So that's a very good question. Scott again, is the BCRC looking provincially, or has there been more regional focus based in the central interior? No, the BCRC is looking all over. Right now, we can say obviously we're advocating for, this actually is a good little segue here into a project that we're advocating for right now. We're advocating for the West Coast Oilfins project that is located in British Columbia, in Prince George, British Columbia. This is such a big opportunity for British Columbia and Prince George. What this project will do for Prince George is it will diversify the economy from being a forest industry to adding another sector of the economy. We're never going to go away from the forest industry. That's what British Columbia is known for, but it is awesome that we can diversify local economy. So we are super proud, super excited to be advocating for that project. Now, Scott, on the other hand of that, yes, we are looking everywhere for projects. We want anything in BC that can help. That's a value add project from natural resource. We want to advocate for it all, as long as it's environmentally sound and it has all the right procurement in place. Those are the projects we want to advocate for. That's another good question from Mr. LePage. Derek Poulin. Well, I think I just answered that, Derek. Honestly, we have another couple really cool projects that we're really excited to announce. Can't do that today. Maybe that's a little hint here going forward. But we have some amazing big-time projects that we're so close to announcing that we're advocating for. I just can't do that today, but I promise you, you will see something big from us coming forward. Mr. Steve Royan, what events, conferences does the BCRC intend to participate in the future post-COVID-19? Well, just in case, the post-COVID-19 is a good thing, because I actually got a COVID-19 haircut right now. As some people have noticed, I'm wearing a hat. That is why. To get their message out. So we've attended some events here in town already. Going forward, we want any sort of natural resource forum that we can advocate, or that we can talk at or have a booth at. So it's really any sort of conference, something like that going forward. It can be the First Nations Major Projects Coalition. We were at that fair in Prince George. That was a huge opportunity. We got to talk to a lot of cool First Nations leaders and people in those communities, and that means a lot to the BCRC going forward, because a lot of we mesh a little bit with some of the stuff that they speak of. So stuff like that and any other sort of conferences, those are the ones we want to be participating in. Great question, Steve. Okay, so I see I'm kind of running out of questions here. That's fine. I'm going to just take a minute here and thank some of our sponsors, because honestly, these guys that are doing the corporate sponsorships, they really keep us funded and really keep us going. So I would like to thank All North. You guys have been great from the start. Andritz, you guys are doing amazing stuff for us behind the scene. Thank you so much for your support. Stinger Welding, amazing company. They're doing amazing stuff for us too. We got Gap Custom Manufacturing. Obviously, Mr. Perdue made the sign back here. Weld Core Supplies. Again, they're doing really cool stuff too with some masks that they've purchased. If you want to get a hold of Ryan Yorkston about that, that's a really cool fundraiser that Ryan's actually doing to help support the COVID-19 relief as far as masks and safety equipment. Lakewood Electric, long-established electrical company here in Prince George. That's a great company. Power Pro, obviously you guys can tell I'm reading something here a little bit because it's hard to remember everybody because there's so many of them, which is awesome. Power Pro, if you guys need crane services, anything like that, please go talk to Power Pro, go talk to Roman. He's an awesome guy. Miltron Electric, that's a good company. That runs through my blood, so very proud to say I work for that company, and they're very, very, I can tell you right now, we're very proud to be a part of the BCRC. And Steel Grid, another great company that's doing cool things here in Prince George. You can find all these companies that have sponsored us on our website. If you go to the BCRC.ca, that's the BCRC.ca. You go to our page there, and you can find all our corporate sponsors. Let's see if we have any more questions here. Thank you, Mr. Timmermans, for saying good job keeping us informed. I really, really, really appreciate that. So the BCRC, we do have committees to keep to set up to keep engaged with. We have we have the government policy changes. We want project endorsement, First Nations, public rallies. We're going to be doing all sorts of that stuff. We really want our voice heard. So going forward in a post-COVID-19 world, we want to do rallies. I think that's going to be a big thing that we're going to want to do going forward. nothing gets a politician's, a government's, someone important's attention like a good rally. That's the truth. So going forward, we're really hoping to do some of that, some fundraiser stuff too, possibly here in the future. For full members, we're going to be doing some membership only access when it comes to talking to some of the leads behind the projects that we're advocating for, which is really big news for people who own their own companies. If you want to talk to whoever's in charge of a certain project and we're happening to be advocating for that project, we might be able to bring them in so you can actually talk to them. Okay, let's see what else we have. Mr. Dean Rodacher, I like this guy. Thank you, I appreciate that. It's a very nice thing to say. Yeah, I see Grant here in the comments. He's answering some of the questions for people. That's awesome. Grant is also he's the vice president of the BCRC. So if you guys know Grant personally, you have any questions, feel free to reach out with him. He knows quite a bit about what's going on here. Another question here: how is the BCRC approaching the struggling forest industry? How can we keep all the contractors that the forest industry employees, like electricians, pipe fitters, welders, steel erectors, etc.? Does the BCRC have any plans to support local forestry in British Columbia? Yeah, it's a tough thing right now that the forest industry is going through. I grew up a baby of the forest industry. Miltron is based on that, and it is a little bit of an issue going forward. There is ways that we can help, that we think we can help the forest industry. Looking at some stumpage rates, see if we can try to gauge some local / provincial politicians that way, because some of those stumpage rates are hard to overcome for these sawmills to make money, and all these sawmills, all these planer mills, pellet facilities, you name it, they employ a lot of people in British Columbia. It's super important that we keep those places running and we keep them updated, because going forward, we still need sawmills, we still need planer mills. It's very, very important. Do we have any plans on supporting local forestry in BC? Yeah, I wouldn't say we have a hard cut plan yet, but that's something we really want to get involved with. We really want to start engaging some of these bigger corporations and asking them, how can we help you? Because we want to help. We know that everyone on our directors board has been in the forest industry, and we want to keep that industry going forward. In saying all that, very important to diversify British Columbia. We need to diversify our economy. Doesn't matter how. Doesn't matter what projects we're looking at doing that with. We need to diversify a little bit here, so going forward we don't have the downturns that we've been having in British Columbia. It's a great question, Alex. See if there's anyone else here to ask questions. No, not yet. So another thing going forward, yeah, our next Facebook Live event, we're going to have possibly a pretty big guest here, guys. You're going to make sure you want to check on that. Actually, it's not just our next one. We're going to have big guests here after big guests. It's not just going to be directors from the BCRC. We're going to have some well-known names on here that you're going to want to talk to. That's about all I can say about that, because we haven't finalized the dates or anything. But when I say we're going to have big guests, they're going to be very well-known people in the industry. So if there isn't any more questions and everyone's kind of got a little bit of feel for what the BCRC is all about, I don't think we really need to talk anymore. But honestly, thank you guys so much for coming on. This is something I'm going to want to do going forward here a little bit. Again, we're going to have guests on here. We're going to bring directors on. We're going to bring more people going forward on this amazing platform that Facebook has given us. So, again, thank you one last time to all the essential service workers and all the frontline workers. You guys are doing amazing work. You're keeping us safe. Keep doing what you're doing, and we support you as much as possibly we can. Saying all that, again, it's Clint Chappell with the BCRC. You guys stay safe, stay healthy. I will talk to you later. Thanks.